All right, we are live. I am with Andres, and I'm so excited to be here with him today. He's a coach, an author, a motivational speaker, and loves to work with youth and nonprofits, and just an inspirational, and look at his shirt, I believe in myself, and that's his motto. So,
Yeah.
so awesome. So thank you so much for being here.
Yeah.
First, if you want to just tell me a little bit about yourself, your story, maybe how you got into speaking and coaching and everything you do.
Yeah, definitely. So thank you again for having me here. I really appreciate you. I really appreciate what you're doing. Just putting some positivity out there. It's much needed. So first of all, I want to say thank you for that. And I'll just tell you a little bit about myself. I want to say like 9 years ago, I was really in a spot that I was just not happy with my life. I was working at a job that I hated. I was really bored with life, really, really bored with my life. And I felt like I would think to myself, there's got to be something more to this life. But I just didn't know what it was. I didn't have any like mentors, any guidance. So I remember I fell into a really depressed state of mind during that time period. So I was really depressed. I was having like daily anxiety. My anxiety was so bad that sometimes I would just be sitting there and I would just start sweating because of all these thoughts that would just come through my mind. And I would just get really nervous. Like when I'd be around people, I was thinking that maybe they were judging me, or maybe they were looking at me the way that I was dressed. And then another thing that was wrong with that I was having difficulty with was like being overweight. I was weighing 265 pounds. I was really depressed because of my physique. And then I was also drinking a lot of alcohol. I was taking pills while I was drinking alcohol so I could just get a good high. And then I was also doing drugs like cocaine. And at one point in my life, I almost overdosed on cocaine. And it was just a really scary experience that at that time, I still remember that in that moment, I started to think about when I was starting to feel like that I was overdosing. I started to think about my grandfather and my mom and just these people that I loved that always told me, hey, just be careful with what you do. And I started to think about that, started getting really emotional, just started crying. And I was thinking, oh my God, like, I can't believe this is going to happen to me. Like, I'm going to die like those people that die in movies or you see on the news. And thankfully, I did, I survived, as you can see. But that time was like really tough time in my life. And I feel like because I didn't have like a purpose, a meaning in life, I was just going through the motions, and I found drugs and alcohol to cope with my depression. But and then also foods. Anytime I was feeling down, I would turn to fast foods to make me feel better. And so when I found out that I was going to have a baby, that's what changed my life forever. I told myself, if I don't take care of myself, then who's going to take care of my son? So I immediately got into diet. I started exercising. I joined a weight loss competition. Now, I don't want to brag, but I won. And thanks. And I won $400. I felt amazing. And I felt better about my physique, but I still had that mentality that I wanted more out of life. Like I wanted to do something different with my life. I was just so bored with my life. And I still remember one day waking up and saying, oh, here we go again, another Monday morning. And then I remember that day I listened to an audio that a friend of mine had sent me by Les Brown. And so Les Brown is amazing. I don't know if you ever heard of him, but yeah, he is so inspirational. And I still remember that he talked about his experiences, that he only had a high school diploma. He was labeled educable, mentally retarded. I mean, those words are a little bit strong, but he was just in a place where I was like, wow, if this guy can be getting paid for public speaking, then why can't I? Because I only have a high school diploma, and I know that I would always compare myself to other people that were lawyers, doctors, surgeons, and these were family and friends, and I was always comparing myself to them. And so like I told myself, wow, if he can do it, then I can do it. And I still remember one thing that he said that really touched me. He said, many people will leave the universe without a trace, and under their name you can put not used up. And I said, wow, that's me. So then I wanted to leave a trace on this earth. And so I decided to become a comedian. So I started doing stand-up comedy. And that's something that I've been so quite the trace that I wanted to leave behind on the world, right? So, so and that's something that I have been wanting to do since I was 12 years old. And so when I started doing that, I then noticed that I was really bad as a comedian. And so I decided to try to master my skills as a comedian by joining Toastmasters. And then that's when I started doing public speaking. The public speaking then led to me wanting to be a motivational speaker. And I didn't want to be I was like, I don't want to be a comedian anymore. I want to be a motivational speaker. And then from there, I just started connecting with people. Then I started speaking at schools, corporations, nonprofits, and now I'm doing coaching, like one-on-one coachings, group coachings, corporate coachings. I'm coaching companies to help them with their productivity, their energy, their health, self-care. There's so many things that people need in order for them to perform at a higher level. But there's a lot of factors. There's like health, there's self-care, there is so many factors that can help you have better performance. So that's my story, just kind of in a nutshell, I guess. But that's a little bit about myself.
That's incredible to see, like, where you've been, where you came from, and kind of how we have to learn. Like, I've had a lot of knockdowns that have hurt, and like I could definitely have taken a different path as well. But yet once we learn, I think we learn from our mistakes and then get better and improve. And you probably wouldn't be here. Like, maybe if you didn't have all that bad stuff in your life, you probably wouldn't be as amazing as you are.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I'm glad you say that, because I look at all my experiences as a blessing. I'm grateful for my suffering. I truly am, because had it not been for my suffering, I would not be serving the people that I have served today. Because I even had this mentor. He told me, you have always been your own mentor, because had you not gone through all that, then you wouldn't have been able to get through it by yourself. And I'm like, yeah, that's true. Yeah, I've learned quite a bit through my journey.
Yeah. And now you can probably go out and help people that are dealing with the same stuff as you, because you've been there. And that's so awesome. So tell me a little bit about your book, and then maybe if you have you already recommended another book, but do you do daily reading, and kind of what are some other favorites along with
So I do reading every day. I love reading. Right now I'm currently reading Tiny Habits by BJ Fogg. I don't know if you ever heard of it. It's a great book. I'm also reading Happiness by Matthew Ricard. Have you heard of him?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I've not read that one either. I'm going to have to put it on my list.
Yes, it is very good. And I also like to listen to a lot of audiobooks. Mm-hmm. And I think that I'm the type of person that's always learning. I'm always a person who's always going to be the student. I'm never going to be this person that knows it all. I'm always going to learn from my 5-year-old or my 8-year-old. They teach me things. They put me in my place sometimes. It could be from a homeless person. It could be from somebody that's younger, older than me. It doesn't matter. I'm always going to be a student. And I've come before. If you wouldn't have recognized me, you would have been like, "Who is this jerk?" But now I'm more open to feedback. I'm more open to learning from other people, because, like, I think Bill Nye said this: everybody knows something that you don't. So and then with my books, I have a book that it's an ebook. It's called How to Overcome the Fear of Death. It's a book that is just like about a 27-page book, really quick read, but it's right to the point of how to overcome this fear that we all have, whether it's a fear of death has been coming up a lot. A lot of people have been telling me that they have a fear of death. And then I also have a book coming up called Morning Warrior Secrets, that it just explains my morning rituals, my morning routine, and how that morning routine honestly has impacted my life to do what I'm doing right now.
That's awesome. Recently, within the last 6 months, incorporated some morning rituals, and it's amazing. Like, before, I'm like, I have no time. I don't have time to work out. I don't have time to read. You just think you don't have time, but once you start, like, even 5 minutes of, waking up and meditating, like, who doesn't have time? 5 minutes in a day. So what other morning rituals can you share with us, what you do?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Why don't we, you want to do one little morning ritual that I do in the morning? We can actually do it right now.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So, well, first, what I like to do is I like to wake up and then I say, today's going to be a great day. Even if I'm waking up like, and I say, today's going to be a great day. I say that. And then I go into the bathroom and then I splash some water on my face. And then I do what is called incantations. So I believe you might be, do you know what incantations are? Or...
I don't know.
So it's like an affirmation, but with movement. So let's do a power pose. Let's do the Superman pose. Let's go like this. Go like that. Okay, and then tell me how do you feel already just by going into the power pose?
I feel strong.
Okay,
like
cool.
Superwoman.
Yes. So now tell yourself right now, I am courageous.
I am courageous.
Say it a little bit louder. I am courageous.
I am courageous.
A little bit louder.
I am courageous.
Yes. Say, I am love.
I am loved.
Okay. And then say, I am love, and then breathe it in.
I am loved. I am loved.
And then breathe it in. And then I let go of fear. So say, I am love.
I am loved.
I let go of fear.
I let go of fear.
How do you feel right now?
I feel strong, but yet amazing.
Yeah. So that's one of the things that I do in the morning. I tell myself incantations, but when I do it, also I like to do like I am courageous, I am strong, and then I start throwing some punches, like just moving. I am courageous, I am strong, I am powerful, I am great, I am fearless, I am compassion, I am empathy, I am love, I am family, I am giving. I tell myself these things, and recently I started to implement. I look at myself in the mirror and I say, you are compassion, you are bold, you are greatness, you are, and it's like a third person is in there telling me, you are greatness, you are bold. And it's a very powerful way of just reaffirming that that's who you are and that's who you want to be. So I do that. And then I go into my meditation, which I do for about 20 minutes. Oh, actually, before meditation, I do yoga. I do yoga for about 15, 20 minutes. And then I do meditation for 20 minutes. And then I journal for about 5 minutes with some hot water. And then this might be a little bit TMI, but then, I go to the bathroom and then I read a book. And then after that, I work out. And right after my workout, I take a cold shower. And that's my morning ritual.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is powerful. Just think if everyone did that, like there's so many things that will help. It'll help your mindset, your body, how you look, your health. Absolutely. So many things it affects.
Yes, awesome. I agree.
Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, definitely. My pleasure.
So what are some things that you think hold people back? Like if they knew this, do you think they'd do it? Like if they knew even like changing your morning routine, taking an hour, doing those things, why don't people do it?
Well, as a coach, I've learned that there's 5 fears that people face. And it's always the same 5 fears that keep coming up. Every time that I coach somebody, it's the same 5 fears. And one of them is comfort zone. People are in their comfort zone. They don't want to do something new. They don't want to do something different because then they'll lose their sleep, or they'll lose that comfort that they have at their job, or they will get out of their comfort zone by meeting new people. So people like to stay in their comfort zone, and they fear that if they step out of their comfort zone, what's going to happen? Like, oh my God, I have to meet new people, or I have to wake up earlier. Oh God, like an hour earlier. And we tell ourselves this story, and this is the story that keeps holding us back from our greatness, because we have already become that story, because we've told ourselves that story for many years. Mm-hmm. And we have to be very aware of what kind of stories we're telling ourselves, because our self-talk is very powerful. A lot of people don't realize how powerful it is. I know I have an aunt who for 30 years, she's been saying the same story. I just can't change. I'm an angry person. I'm like, wow, you've been saying that since I was 5. You're right. You're never going to change because you just said I'm an angry person.
Conscious, and that's
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's ingrained in that person that that's just the way they are. And so a lot of people don't realize that sometimes their self-talk is affecting them in a negative way, because just think about this, your words, they become a thought, which then creates a feeling in your body. You take an action depending on that feeling, and then you get a result. And if you get a lousy result, here comes another negative thought, negative feeling, negative action, negative result, and it's a vicious cycle. And I don't know if you knew this, but we think 50 to 70,000 thoughts per day. That's 3,000 thoughts per hour. So if we're thinking the same
Wow.
negative thoughts over and over again, then there's no way that we can create a brighter future. And what happens in life is that over 90% of our thoughts are thoughts from the past. And if we are continuously living in the past, there is no way that we can create a brighter future. So that's why it's very important that we watch our thoughts, because our thoughts then create our personality, the person that we are. And that personality creates our personal reality. And that's why a lot of people, they are suffering or they're happy because of their thoughts. So we have to be very aware of our thoughts. And I think that that's one of the fears, the comfort zone. You don't want to lose something, because if you do, you'll lose sleep, you'll lose friends. If you start working out, then you're going to lose your buddies that are always eating donuts or eating healthy, that type of thing. And people don't want to be kicked out of the circle. It's like we're still living like cavemen in a way, that we don't want to be kicked out of that circle, because in our minds we'll starve to death, but really you're not going to starve to death. You're actually probably going to have a better body and feel better about yourself if you do this routine. So that's one of the fears. The other fear is the fear of rejection. What if I get rejected by my peers, by my friends, by what if I get rejected if I go to the gym, or some, just the fear of rejection. What if I get rejected? I know in coaching I had that fear of, what if I get rejected, if I have somebody become my client? I don't want to propose to them. I don't want to tell them, hey, do you want to work with me? I don't want to be salesy. I don't want to be this. I don't want, and I bet you can relate to this as a real estate agent. So the fear of rejection, people fear rejection, and then
They
there's
self-sabotage themselves before they even have the possibility of getting rejected. Right?
Yep. Yeah. And then what happens is that really it's something from the past that they got rejected in their past, and they don't realize that it's still ingrained in their subconscious mind. And that subconscious mind is controlling the way that they're feeling, the way that they're living their lives. And they're always fearing rejection. Why? Because maybe a relative rejected them, a friend. It could have been a stranger that rejected them. And now they feel the fear of rejection. And I've had people that got rejected by a stranger, and they never did anything again because of that one rejection. And so that's another one of the fears that people have. Another one is the fear of failure.
Mm-hmm.
What if I fail? People will make fun of me. What if I fail and I lose this money, or I lose my friend? It's the fear of failure. People, or like, for example, with the weight loss, if people want to lose weight or have a better body or have a better career, they fear failure. Why? Because they failed in the past. They've had experiences where they tried something and it didn't work. Some people say, I've tried every single diet and it doesn't work. No, you haven't. You probably tried only 2 or 3 and it didn't work.
Or maybe didn't try it for like 66 days, to create a habit.
Yeah, there you go.
Up way too soon, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you're right about the whole 66 days. It takes 66 days to create a new habit. And there's a group that I have right now, group coaching, that's called 30 and 66. So I'm helping men lose 30 pounds in 66 days because of the whole habit thing. And so far they're doing pretty good. I don't know if they're going to get to the 30 pounds, but they are making progress, which I'm very proud of them for that. But you're right about the whole 66 days that it takes to create a new habit. And and then the final 2 are the biggest ones. And that's the fear of what people might think or say about them. Mm-hmm. If they do try to change. I know I had that happen with me. I had the fear of, what will my friends say? Because I'm a completely different person who I was 9 years ago. So I had that fear, what will people say or think about me? And I remember that when I was growing up, that was one of the biggest things that I had in my life, caring about what people might say or think about me. And then the final one is that I'm not worthy. Who am I to be a life coach? Who am I to be a motivational speaker? Who am I to be an actor, a singer, musician, whatever it is that they want to be? Who am I to do that? I'm only an electrician. I'm only a lawyer. I have a client who, she's a lawyer, but she wants to be a life coach, and her family is a family of lawyers. So they're always telling her, "Why do you want to be a life coach? Like, what's a life coach, anyways? That's silly. Don't be silly. We're a family of lawyers. Like, stick to the lawyer thing. You'll be fine." But she's tired of it. She's burned out. She doesn't like it anymore, and she wants to be a life coach. And she tells me, I tell you things that I've never told my family before, family and friends. And I think that's pretty sad that sometimes people, that's the way that they live their lives. They can't even talk to their family and friends about their dreams because they probably will smash that dream or criticize it. And they would probably talk to a stranger about these dreams more than they would their family and friends. And that's, wow. Honestly, I've had so many clients tell me things that they've never told their family and friends. And it's because I'm encouraging them. I'm telling them you can do this. I tell them from my personal experiences, when you're very vulnerable and you talk to your clients like, hey, this is what I've been through. They're more willing to open up to you because they're saying, wow, you've been through something that I'm going through right now. And if I talk to you about this, then you can help me with this. So those are the 5 fears that are holding people back from living their full potential and their dreams.
That's so awesome. It's like, so when you think about, it's only 5 things that really hold people back. Like, if you could just take 10 minutes a day to work on each of those, I mean, how life-changing could that be?
Absolutely. Yeah.
That is awesome. So I love the way that you believe in yourself. Do you have anything like going out in nature that nature's helped change, or like just getting outside too, or some other tips how to overcome those 5 things?
Oh yeah. So I would say write down, this is one thing that I did. I wrote down my values of the person that I want to be. And so when I was telling you that the whole thing about the affirmations and incantations, I'm ingraining those words into my mind and in my body to become that person. And not only will I be speaking them, but I will be thinking them. And I think this was Buddha that said it, that if you're thinking and saying the what you feel, who you are, then that's when you really transform your life. And I remember that I read a book called The 8 Steps to Excellence, I think it's called, by Cameron Taylor. And he says, write down your values first. Who do you want to be? Who do you want to become? Because what happens is that if you don't have your own values, you'll fall into other people's values, and you'll fall into their calendar. You'll fall into their habits. You'll eat the way they eat. You'll drink the way they drink. You'll speak the way they speak. And before you know it, you'll be stuck, and you'll say, whoa, I'm 30, I'm 40, I'm 50, and I still have not done what I want to do. Why? Because you don't have your own values. You don't have your own calendar. Anytime somebody says, hey, let's go out, get a pizza, let's go do this. Yeah, sure, let's go. Yeah. And then you waste your time. And then before you know it, you're like, man, I could have been doing something for my dream, but you don't, because you don't have values. So I would say write down your values, and your values will transform you, because you have to transform yourself first before you can even try to transform anybody else. You have to be the change you want to see in the world. And in order for us to be that change, we have to truly change internally and believe in ourselves and love ourselves. Because if we don't believe in ourselves and we don't love ourselves, we can't give that to other people. You cannot give what you do not have. If you don't love yourself, you can't give love away. And that's why I truly believe that before, I was in relationships where I was always looking for them to love me, but I didn't even love myself, and they didn't love themselves. So how are we going to give each other something that we don't even have? We're depending on other people to love us. We're depending on other people to do the work for us. We're depending on other people to have compassion for us. We don't even have compassion for ourselves. And this is a lot of stuff that I'm still doing the work. I'm never going to stop doing the work. And trust, don't get me wrong. I'm a human being. I have self-doubt. I have fears. I had anxiety this Monday. Shoot. What's today? Wednesday. Shoot. I had anxiety 2 days ago, and it's okay. I'm a human being. I too have my doubts. I too have my fears, but I don't live in those fears like I used to before. Before, it would be days, weeks that I would suffer in anxiety and fear. Now it's give me about 5-10 minutes. Boom, let's get that sucker out, or I'll reach out to my coach or my mentor. That's another thing. You got to have a coach. You got to have a mentor, somebody that can help you, that has been through that struggle and that can get you out of that hole when you're in fear. And that's something that if we were to have that person that we can just reach out to, hey man, like right now, oh, I'm struggling. I need your help. Hey, do this. Or they give you some words of advice and you're like, wow, I feel so much better now. Wow. Instead of suffering for an hour or a week, I get to eliminate this fear right now, just thanks to my coach. Those are a few tips.
I love that you have a coach.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Definitely.
Gosh, I'm out of questions.
Cool.
You did so awesome.
Thank you. You did
anything else you can share with us that's on your heart, on your mind, how can people find you, connect with you? I know you have some great talks out there while you're out on your walks and all that.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Thank you. So you can reach me at Andres Ruiz on Facebook, or I also have 2 pages called I Believe in Myself and then I Believe in Myself Español. So I do it in Spanish. And there's some motivation there. You can also look me up on YouTube. It's called Transformational Motivation. It's a YouTube channel. And then you can also go to my page, IBelieveInMyself.org. And just to let everybody know, I'm actually going to be having a webinar on July 9th. It's called Money Secrets, for anybody who is having blocks with money, or they want to get some tools, some things that they can do to overcome any fears of money. And then also it's $27, and $10 go to a organization called Candlelighters. Now, Candlelighters is a great organization where they help kids and their families so these kids, they have cancer or they have blood disorders. And these kids are very young. They're from anywhere from 2 to 18. And with the donations that go to them, the Candlelighters pays for their bills, pays for their health insurance. They pay for cars. The thing is, these people, they don't have money to pay for these bills. Why? Because they spend so much on the medical bill for the kids that they don't even have the money to spend it on kids. I remember for Christmas last year, we brought some gifts for some of these kids. We were able to help volunteer, and it really humbles you. You tell yourself, man, what am I complaining about? I remember I saw this little boy, probably 3 years old. He had on a shirt, and through his shirt, you can see his bones. Like, he was really that delicate, and it really grounds you. And you tell yourself, what am I complaining about? What am I? And the little boy, 3-year-old, he was smiling, having a good time. And then sometimes we see people complaining about, oh my God, they got my order wrong at Jack in the Box. And you're like, it's really not that serious. There's some more serious stuff going on out there. But sometimes people, they look at themselves so much, they focus on me. But what can you do for other people? Serve, and your suffering will die. I promise you. If you serve, you will not have fear, because you won't have time to even be in that fear, because you're going to be over here serving somebody that truly needs help. But if we were to have that type of more people like that, wow, the world would be so much better. And so if you guys want to join, let me know. Like I said, $10 is going to Candlelighters, great organization. And if you guys just want to even donate to the Candlelighters, let me know. I'll give you the link. I can connect you with my friend Beverly. She's the one who's running it. And let me know.
Yeah, send me all the links and I will put them in here for sure, or we'll put it in the comments, something. That's great. Awesome, because I know my dad passed away from cancer, and I was his caregiver, and oh my gosh, it's so sad, and I can't even imagine, like, if one of my children, that it's got to be one of the worst things to live through. So sad what happens.
Yeah,
for sure. So that's awesome that you're so giving
to
something so big.
Thank you. Yeah, I love serving. I really truly enjoy that. Serving, there's nothing like it. You can get paid, which is great, but when you're of service to somebody and somebody tells you, wow, thank you so much, you really impacted my life, there's nothing like that. It's like a natural high.
Yeah. Just like this, I hope people go back and re-listen to this and take notes and share this. This could really help so many people. You had so many good tips on just your daily routine and how to get out of your own head. So that's so awesome. Hopefully people go back, watch it, take notes.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
The message out of, yes, getting out and serving and getting out of your own way, really.
Yes, definitely.
So awesome. Well, thank you so much. This has been so great. You gave us so much good information. I'm going to go back and take notes, and thank you for spending time with me today, and hopefully we can do it again.
Definitely. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Good.